Tiff and Rach here.
We are the Nobodies, and this is our podcast.
Welcome to our morning. We are at Thursday, the second last day of our first half of this ATSI third term. We just finished yesterday going into the deep front line for the first session, session 5, with our models. And we got to really experience some interesting things. I went in there very hesitantly yesterday, as my client had shared some things about pelvic floor dysfunction in her past and present. And I have been experiencing some very much impostery like symptoms of not knowing or feeling very unsure of myself, even though my execution of the work has been going really well. There's just something very cloudy, and I don't know if it's because I'm in the thick of this soup right now and really starting to lean into my intuition. I know the things. I just have to trust myself sometimes in a different way than I've ever had to. Or I shouldn't say ever had to, but since I was in school the last time. It's that learning curve, really also the nuance of this work being incredibly challenging on both the emotional side of our own journeys, but also having to show up for somebody that's an outside model is like having to show up on your kind of most challenging day every day when we're in school.
Oh yeah, and we exchanged our 5th session with each other the day before, and we mentioned yesterday that the room was filled with this cacophony of breathing and groans. And it was like we were reliving our own sessions as we worked with our models yesterday, because we could feel empathically and still physically what had happened with our sessions the day before. And so there was very much this sense of keeping your filter in check, and this whole idea of psychological transference, or truly embodying and feeling what somebody's feeling and knowing like this is their experience, not yours. Mm-hmm. And it gets murky for sure.
And I mean, this is not the most ideal situation where you are going through a series and then having to kind of be the person that's on as the practitioner right after that, which Tiff and I are doing.
It's meant to test you.
It is meant to test you.
There's a word that Tom accidentally happened upon. We are building a Tom Myers dictionary, by the way, which we will share with you at some point. All of the words that he has created, his own little anatomy and ridicularity so dictionary. And one of them he happened upon last term was Bestirb. He was trying to say bestir, like to evoke something within someone. Mm-hmm. But I heard and repeated Bestirb, which is like bestir and disturb had a baby. And that's truly what we're doing here. We are stirring up things that have not been touched or thought about or felt. And especially as we jump into the deep core, it is intense for people. Mm-hmm. And it brings out just a lot of shit.
Yeah. And so, our sessions really did go well yesterday. It's just one of those things where now we're coming into that second session today, which is kind of working the front side above the pelvis, including the pelvis though, of the deep front line. And that is really in regards to balancing the diaphragms. We consider the pelvic floor a diaphragm, and the actual breathing diaphragm, they want to be ideally like a cylinder. So if you think about a can, and they want to be aligned. So if your back is tipped back, so your ribs are flared forward, and the back side of your body is shortened compared to the front, you don't have great access to your whole breath.
And that makes you very inefficient. Mm-hmm. And it takes a lot of your energy from your day. And what we're trying to do is, how can we help this person be the most them? And one of the ways we can do that is to help people have more efficiency of energy so that they have more to spend how they want, not just being used up without their knowledge in these patterns that are no longer helpful for them.
So, going into today, we're hoping for all of you that maybe you can remind yourself that breathing is your self-massage. Check in with yourself at least 3-4 times a day where you get to open yourself to where you feel open, where you don't feel so open. And maybe some areas, I heard Tom repeating about the 1, 2, 3s, the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s.
Yeah.
And we all have blind areas. Maybe that's a subject of tomorrow's episode, that we'll talk about a little bit more into that, so that maybe for the weekend you can check into your 1, 2s, and 3s.
Yeah, but for today, with that breathing exercise, I want you to sit, and I want you to first feel your feet on the ground. Then I want you to feel your sits bones. I want you to rock back and forth and find what feels neutral to you. And then I want you to check in with your ribs, lift them back and forward and side to side. And then I want you to try to imagine, maybe even Google the diaphragm and look at it and try to imagine both the pelvic and the breathing diaphragm moving together like an elevator as you breathe. And it's going to go down on the inhale maybe, up on the exhale maybe, and just check in with that. See if you can feel that.
That's our pod for today. It's a short one.
It's a shorty because we got to go.
We got to go, but I hope you all have a great day. And attention is everything.
We appreciate yours. Tiffin, reach out.